So in today's video, we're gonna go over is why the Apple of Eden is probably not the first Civ item in Assassin's Creed Origins upcoming DLC, Curse of the Pharaohs, releasing on March 13th. So the reason I think this is, one, we already have an Apple of Eden that is in Egypt that Bayek left in Anya's hideout that she had in Alexandria. But people have been thinking in my comment section that it's going to be the Apple of Eden. But if we think about it, what is the most famous object that people use for like transferring people to the afterlife in ancient Egyptian? It's the Ankh. The Ankh. People believed, there is many different theories for this, so don't hit me on this. I've got two that possibly could be true, is that in hieroglyphics they showed that the kings and the queens and the pharaohs were given Ankhs. This was a way of giving them life to go in, like breathing the king or pharaoh or queen into the afterlife. So it brings life into them that goes into beyond to the next world. The next one is the other images showed two gods above the pharaoh or the king, queen, whatever you want to call them, because it is the pharaoh that pouring it onto him like water, pouring like little Ankhs onto him. It's like purifying them to go into the afterlife. This is really possibly what they're going to go for in Assassin's Creed Origins, because it would make a lot of sense of the way they can mess with the Ankh beliefs, because especially when it came to the belief, because if they believed if you place the Ankh between the eyes of the initiate, meaning the pharaoh, king or queen, it would allow them to see beyond the world, allowing them to see into the the afterlife stuff. You can see into the afterlife, like where they want to be in there after they're dead. Their world, they will become part of the dead. Another thing is that the Ankh was considered the key part of the tomb. So meaning the key part of the tomb is that it would be only object in there that would lead them into the field of Aru, which is the field of reeds, and where we're going in Assassin's Creed Origins through the portals, Aru. So you can see that it's all linking up right now. Plus, this is one of the major things that I found possibly that they could be doing with the Ankh, with the people who have got hold of the Ankh. When we find out if someone's even got hold of the Ankh or anything like that, is that some people used to believe the Ankh used to grant immortality. So if they believed if you place the Ankh on a mummy and it would reincarnate the mummy into its next life, and it would eventually reincarnate into a god with their entitlement, meaning they would become a god and be one amongst the living, and they will never die. This could be true because Egyptians used to believe in this stuff all the time, and with Bayek, he probably wouldn't believe it, as he is just completely just like, no, I believe in my own theories now, because after what he went through in Assassin's Creed Origins, the main campaign of that game, showed that he went through quite a lot, from believing in all the Egyptian laws and beliefs to where he was in Hidden Ones, where he believed everything that he knew firsthand was true, that he couldn't believe anything until he actually saw it with his own eyes. With all this research I did upon the Ankh, what I've just told you, I came up with my own theory what could be in Assassin's Creed Origins Curse of the Pharaohs DLC. When Bayek gets to, I don't know what this place is called that we're going to, the real life world place, I don't know what that's called because I didn't really listen to that part. Is that the first Civ Ankh has been disturbed, so it could either be took by the Order of the Ancients, which we know are still around thanks to the Assassin's Creed Origins Hidden Ones DLC, that the Templars are still around because they are the ancient Order of the Ancients, or it could be taken by grave robbers, which would be really good because grave robbers were very popular during the times after Cleopatra's death and stuff, and like all Egyptian fell and became this new Egypt. Grave robbers were very popular because there was loads of tombs everywhere, and it was just very easy to rob if you could sneak into them and avoid all the traps. So this is what the proper theory of what it's going to go down with, and how it will work with the Ankh being disrupted. So the disruptions with the Ankh, of the first Civ Ankh, would create portals between the afterlife and the real world, meaning that Aru, people who lived in Aru, living in Aru, the dead, can come across the real world, and they can start killing innocents and invading the real world, and Bayek gets involved, and he starts killing them and taking them back to find out what's going on. So the objective and basic idea for the DLC, I think that's going to happen is you're going to have to stop the dead. Instantly, everyone knows you're going to have to stop the dead, but we don't know how. One, we would have to find the Ankh, which is what we do with every festive item. We find it, even though if we don't know what it is, we know we're going to have to find one if the one is related to the story that we know is in the story. Sorry for being a bit confusing there. Number 3, stop the destruction. Very simple, we just got to stop all this from happening. And I think the way you're going to do this is by returning the Ankh back to its resting place. The place it originally was before someone took it. It makes it understand that you take it somewhere and make sure it's sealed off forever and make sure no one ever gets to it again. And we're going to probably get it back by assassinating a head Templar or assassinating quite a lot of grave robbers, and probably a big main head grave robber from at the time. Probably a most famous one. I don't really know any famous grave robbers at all, so that's pretty much it for my theory of what the DLC of Curse of the Pharaohs is going to go all about. Tell me what you guys think of the theory down below, if the Ankh is a very suitable object to be in Assassin's Creed Origins Curse of the Pharaohs DLC, and the way from the Egyptian beliefs into the game. So, as always guys, I'll see you very, very soon. Goodbye.